Okay, welcome folks. This is Mr. Imran Iqbal from Imran Iqbal 1-to-1 Tutor on YouTube. This is a small video, just literally to help some of my students who got stuck on this topic for the homework. I'm going to go through a couple of questions and hopefully they can benefit and anybody else who's watching can benefit as well. Let's get started. So when we have a look at our quadratic equations, these are the questions that we will be given to the topic as is completing the square. So we're completing the square. Completing the square has this particular format, x plus a squared plus b. Now, in order for us to use this particular format, we need to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. This one already is 1. If there's no number in front of the x squared, that means the number is invisible 1, which is good. That's the more simpler version of the equation. Now, what's special about factorizing this quadratic equation in this completing the square technique is that we can then use this to find out the turning point of the graph. So as we know, so for example, if I was to draw a sketch the axes and I was to draw a sketch of a graph, and that would be the turning point. So that would be given by inversing the a value and using the b value. So that will give us the coordinates of the turning points. So that is the reason, one of the main reasons why we'll be using this style of factorizing, because we need this information. What is the coordinates of the turning points? So the graph can be that way around. It can be that way around. So if you have another graph, quick sketch, and then we have another one. So that would be the turning point with that coordinate x value and that coordinate y value, but in this. Okay, without any further delay, how do we complete the square? So let's get rid of all of this stuff for the moment. We can put that stuff back on, but we put it on at the top. So we have to inverse the a value and copy the b value to give us the turning points or the turning coordinates. So x squared minus 6x plus 1, we look at this first part of the equation, x squared minus 6x. Then we drop down the x. Okay, the squared will come back in the bracket, so we have no squared here at the moment. And then we put our single set of brackets with the x, and then we have to get the minus 6. We have to divide it by 2. If we do minus 6 divided by 2, that will give us an answer of minus 3. So what we are doing is we're writing the first two components as a factorized style answer. But what will happen is when we expand that, we will get back the x squared, the minus 6x, but we'll have something extra. So we need to then adjust for that. So let's go to one side. X minus 3 squared is equal to x minus 3 times by x minus 3, which will then give us x squared minus 3x minus 3x and plus 9. If we simplify, that gives us x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now, if you look, x squared tick, yeah, we got that from our brackets, minus 6x tick, we have that, but we have something extra, a plus 9. So our red bracket gives us exactly what we need, which is x squared minus 6x, but it gives us an undesirable plus 9 as a side effect. Oh, yeah, so we need to get rid of that plus 9. So that plus 9 gets minus 9, and the plus 1 stays where it is. Okay, so our adjustment is here. Okay, so the x squared minus 6x will give us recreate back what we started with, but we generate an extra plus 9. That plus 9, we need to get rid of it. So we have to adjust for that by saying minus 9. That will then get rid of it, and the plus 1's already there, so that's okay. So let's sort things out. So these can now be simplified. Let me get a hold of the right pen. These can now be simplified. Minus 9 plus 1 will give us minus 8. Okay, and now we are ready to finish the question. Question's done. -9 plus 1 will simplify to -8. So x minus 3 squared minus 8 will give us back the original answer of x squared minus 6x plus 1. So just a different way of writing it. It's like a partial style factorization, partial simplification. It's a very unique style of doing the factorizing. That's how we do it. That's the gist of the basics. Now, if we look over here and we match it up, we can see everything matches. It said give it in the format x plus a squared plus b. And we have done exactly that. There's my a, there's my b. Now remember, our a value is -3. We have to minus the a value, and that gives us our coordinates for our turning point, and we just copy down the b value. So the b value is -8. That gets copied down. The a value currently is -3 in the bracket. So even though this says x plus a in the black part, we got -2. That doesn't matter. That just means x and the a value. So the a value can be positive, can be negative in the original fraction, in the original bracket, sorry. Okay, but we now have to inverse it. From -3, we multiply it by -1, it will give us +3. So that will give us 3 minus 8. So I had the -3, I made it negative. If we make a -3 negative, that becomes -3 becomes +3. There we go. So it says here, so the first answer goes here. And my second, so that's answer number 1, that's answer number 2. So that answer goes here. Okay. Now, just to show, make you feel confident that we are doing it all right, I'm going to now use a graphing software to graph that equation. I'm going to show you that our turning point is actually 3 minus 8. So give me 1 second while I just quickly pull that up. Okay, so let's just jump into our, so it's x squared minus 6x plus 1. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 1. Let's double check. X squared minus 6x plus 1. And so what we said, we have from our calculation, I have got here 3 minus 8 as the turning point. So let's go back to our graph. Let's move it around. So here's our function, x squared minus 6x plus 1. The graphing software has drawn it for us. If I touch that, it gives me the turning point. And as you can see there, the turning point is 3 minus 8. Bang on what we got. So we're happy. This is answer is the correct answer. Even if you graph it, it confirms. So that's how we do the basic question, where the coefficient of x squared is 1. So the rest of these questions, they are very similar, and I'm not going to go through any more of those because you need to practice them. The next type of question is the one where they've upped the temperature a bit on the question. They've put a 2 in there. So let's grab hold of my highlighter. So they have a 2 as the multiplier. Now, for the method to work, we can't have the 2 there. We have to get the equation back, strip it back down into standing by itself, x squared, blah, blah, blah. So what we need to do in order for us to facilitate that, we need to factorize the 2 out and move it away. If I factorize the 2 out, I'm left with x squared minus 6x, and then half of 23. Well, half of 22 is 11, so that'll be 11.5. Okay, so the most important thing is that we've got our equation set up like this. So we have our x squared plus bx plus c, okay? And the important thing is here, the number here is 1. So for the equation to work for them, so we're pulling the 2 out for the moment. So nothing to worry about. Right, let's get rid of that for the moment. Give me 1 second. Now, what do we do next? We do exactly the same process. So we make our little brackets squared, and then we'll still have the plus 11.5 at the end. Okay, this part will be squared, and then we put the x in there. Okay, so we'll drop down the x. The squared kind of goes over there. Now the minus 6, we have to divide it by 2. That gives you minus 3. Now if we take x minus 3 squared to the side and we work that out actually, we will get x squared minus 3x, okay, minus 3x, okay, minus another 3x. It gives the same answer as the previous one actually, because the numbers ended up being the same, but that's no problem. So that gives us x squared minus 6x plus 9, but you need to do this. Okay, it's literally the same as the question we just done, literally, but the rest of it will be different. Don't worry about it. So from here, we get this part matching, but we have an undesirable plus 9. So we have to adjust by doing a minus 9. And the 11.5, which is desirable, is still there. So there's our undesirable bit. So this is a need to get rid of. We don't need. We are getting rid of it here by our adjustment. And put the 2 back in. Okay, so let's bring that back down. Now the minus 9 and the 11.5, you have to simplify that. So 11.5 take away 9, that will give us 2.5 plus 2.5. Now we need to multiply the brackets. So multiply here and multiply here. So we left with 2 lots of x minus 3 squared. So when I say multiply the bracket, I don't mean multiply out that as a double bracket, just 2 times by the bracket and leave it on the outside. And then 2 times by plus 2.5 will give us 5. Okay, so now we have reached this stage. So this is now looking quite nicely like what they've asked us in the question. So if you look in the question, which part of the question am I talking about? This part of the question, which I copied here. So our A matches this, our B matches this, our C matches this. So it says write that in the form which we've done exactly how they've asked us to do it. So let's write that down. Okay, hence or otherwise write down the coordinates of the turning points of the graph y equals 2x squared. Okay, so now even though we have a 2 hanging as a multiplier outside the x minus 3, that doesn't actually change what we've done in the first question, which is, okay, now they've changed the letters, so hopefully this doesn't get confusing. They put A at the front, B in the middle, and C at the end. In the other question, where the B is, the A was. So it's not about the, don't get hooked on the letters, it's about its position. So our turning point will be this value multiplied by -1, and then this value we just copy as we've done before. So we already have -3 becomes +3, and the +5 becomes, stays as +5, and that one gets copied. So there's our turning point. +3 +5. So let's copy that down here. +3 +5, I think my comma is a bit high. I think we need to get rid of that one. Done. Okay, we don't actually need to put that there either. So if you want to work out the turning point, we go inside the bracket. The second part of the number, we have to inverse it. If it's minus, make it plus. If it's plus, make it minus, which we've done. The A multiplying outside doesn't really affect anything. Everything still stays the same. And the C value is and the second value is going to be the value which is hanging outside the bracket. Just copy that straight down. So we're copying one and inverting one. So let's double check this on our graph. And I need to write that down somewhere. So what is it? It is a 2x squared minus 12x plus 23. So let's just delete that. Let's type something new. So it'll be 2x squared minus, I think it's 12x plus 23. Let me double check. 2x squared minus 12x plus 23. Yes, that's correct. And then let's where's that graph gone? Okay, so here's our graph. Okay, so y equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 23. The graphing software has done it for us. And if I just touch the bottom, the turning point, voila. So the turning point is 3, 5. What is our turning point? 3, 5. Mumtaz. That's fantastic. Okay, folks, I hope you like these questions. So I gave you a simple question in the beginning, question number 1, and this one's a little bit more involved because it has a extra multiply which we factorize out. We deal with everything inside. We do a partial multiplication, and then we do the same things. Take out the one value for the x, other value for the y, and it's the same thing. Okay, I hope this helps anybody. First of all, my students who are struggling with this particular question, and anybody else who's struggling with this question. Okay, if you like these questions, you're enjoying these videos, please give us a thumbs up, a subscribe, and forward it to your friends so they can benefit from it as well. See you on the next one on Imran Iqbal One-to-One Tutor on YouTube, the home of mathematics. Okay, folks, this is just a little plug. If you want to benefit from thousands of pounds worth of tuition videos, other students' paid lessons that you can benefit from, come on down to my channel, Imran Iqbal One-to-One Tutor, and without having to pay a single penny, you can learn from other students' lessons on whichever topic you're looking for, whether it be maths generally, 11 plus, GCSE maths obviously for the examination level. You'll find lots of topics on there. We have over 1,200 videos, everything from algebra, negative numbers, graphing, quadratic equations, all the way up to like grade 9 questions and stuff. Absolutely free. Won't cost you a single penny. More videos like the one that you've just watched. So there are other students' paid lessons which I've uploaded to benefit them and also anybody else who's willing to watch the videos and benefit and get rid of all the misunderstanding gremlins so they can master the topics and smash the exams. So this is some information for you. Come down to the website, subscribe, find the videos that you need, watch them, consume them, devour them, and master the topics. Until next time.